everybody. Welcome back to the PASHLEY podcast, where laughter is the best medicine.
And you know it, pickleball is a close second.
That's right, Ashley.
I love it.
How are you doing? It's Tuesday, May 28th.
And this is not the lucky number 13th episode, like Patrick said in our Instagram story.
Well,
that may have been a mistake. It's actually 12.
so I made a mistake, okay? But at least we have our famous board back.
Yes, we are in Fountain Hills, Arizona with our full rig. So you're in for a lot of surprises.
Indeed, we do. And let's check in. We already have Sunil in the house. Sunil, chew gum and play pickleball simultaneously. Now, that's some state-of-the-art multitasking right there. We're going to get to the title. But first, let's go over the Johnny joke. You know, if you clean a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yes.
I'm like, is that, I mean, it didn't make me laugh out loud, but it's not the dumbest joke I've ever heard. So we'll give you that. All right, Patrick, are you ready for one thing that made me laugh?
Yeah, I am ready for that.
Well, guys, Patrick, if you haven't heard already, has quite a robust morning routine going. And don't worry, Patrick, at the end of this, I will give you a chance to explain yourself or defend yourself if you feel the need. So in addition to his sauna, meditation, jazzercise, I don't know if you know about this, but he bought this thing that you chew on, and apparently it makes your jaw more strong. And he's added a new device, which is actually chewing gum, but not just any gum. This gum resembles a dried piece of sap from a tree, and it also tastes like one. I don't know where the heck he ordered this from, but he brings it over to me and he's like, hey, check this out. I'm like, what is that? And it smells of pine. And he's like, it's the new gum I got. It's supposed to be really healthy and it helps with your jaw strength. I'm like, okay. And he said, try some. So I put a little bit in my mouth and it was like literally chewing on tree sap. And so I was like, yeah, no, thank you. This is all yours. I am not chewing that. So then we go on our morning walk and like, I noticed that he's just spitting like every, I don't know. It felt like every 15 seconds. And Patrick is not a spitter. Like he's not it's not a thing for him. And I'm like, are you spitting? And he's like, yeah, it's the gum. It's like making extra saliva in my mouth. I'm like, well, I mean, you swallow saliva all day, every day. Like, what's the big deal? And he's like, well, not this much saliva. I just feel like I just really feel the need to spit when I chew this gum. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm married to a gum chewer and a spitter. And, you know, just noting this for myself. It did make me laugh though.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can rebuttal.
You can.
Okay. First of all, that was wonderful how you told that story.
Oh, good.
I was laughing in my heart and out loud. I loved it.
Good.
Folks, when I'm into the jawline now, working on it.
All things jaw.
Yeah, Twitter has really targeted me quite well on the jawline. And quite frankly, Ashley, I'm jealous of your beautiful jawline. You have a great profile, and it's one of the things that I've always loved about you. You have this great jawline.
Well, thank you.
And I'm just trying to keep up with you. So a couple weeks ago when we attended Consumer Health Summit, Sachin Patel was talking about how to improve nasal breathing. And one of the ways to do that is through increasing the strength of your jaw. And one of the tips is this Chaos Mastic Gum. It comes from the gum of a tree. So
you are going to link in the show notes. Like,
there's a link in the show notes to what I bought on Amazon. And the funny thing about, go ahead. Did you want to? Okay, perfect. It is an interesting flavor. It is pine, kind of. That's the easiest
100%.
Yeah, that's the easiest flavor I could use to describe it. But it's not that bad. And once you kind of get going on it, you're like,
oh, yeah. And then you just spit a whole bunch.
She's like, why are you chomping over there?
Yeah. So he's a gum smacker and spitting in between. It's just really,
It's not a trait I am now proud of. And the other thing that I'm not proud of is that this gum, it doesn't lose whatever flavor it has. So
It stays disgusting the whole time.
Exactly. And you buy this little Ziploc baggie of it.
It looks super sketchy.
It totally looks sketchy, except there is a label and I bought it on Amazon, so it's got to be real.
Perfectly safe then.
But they even talk about this, that you can chew it multiple times.
Oh, sick.
So
this is not getting better. You guys, can I get a little backup here? This is ridiculous.
The piece that I chewed, I was like, well, it still has the pine flavor.
Oh,
I pulled a little piece of surgical tape, which I also keep by my bed for taping my lips together, put it on the bedside table and just put that little piece of gum on the side table.
Please, just, I don't pay any attention to what you have going on over there. It's just better.
And then I did chew it the next day. It tasted exactly the same. A little dustier, but the exact same.
This is not good for our love life.
No,
Let's move on to something that made Patrick laugh.
It's not good for our love life, but it is great for the podcast.
But you'll have a great jawline.
Yeah, well, that's
for your next wife. Thank you.
You definitely get that one. Okay, what made me laugh was a great video I saw on Instagram. Wait, no, on Twitter. I'm more of a Twitter guy these days than an Instagram guy. So let me share this. You have not seen this, correct, Ashley?
I have not.
Okay, so it's the premise is great. It's a voice-activated light bulb. So let me share my screen and refresh the screen and zoom in just a bit here.
抱不住，叫你换个单，你换什么声控单呐？哦吼，还是个尖叫弦的。你不是说节约成本吗？节约成本也不能这样子节约成本呐。哦吼，一晚上搞得我不是放错醋就是放错油，切个菜把指甲都切了。哦吼，不是没买头灯吗？你倒是带呀。你见过哪个厨师带着头灯炒菜的？哦吼，你以为是钓鱼嘛？还带头灯？抠门的我见多了，没见过你这么抠门的。哦，赶紧叫个电工师傅过来把灯换了。啊，哦，这么一勺子过去门牙你都保不住，叫你换个灯，你换什么声控灯呐？哦吼，还是个尖叫弦的。你不是说节约成本吗？节约成本也不能这样子节约成本呐。哦吼，一晚上搞得我不是放错醋就是放错油，切个菜把指甲都切了。哦吼，不是没买头灯吗？都是带呀。你见过哪个？
As you think it is, but it's okay because it's your segment.
It's not as funny as you think it is. Guys, welcome to the rest of my life.
I
That
do
is,
want to go ahead and
that's
show
true.
what Sunil said because
Oh boy,
it's
What
relevant.
did he say, Sunil?
the gum that Patrick is non-cessantly going on about is called Juicy Groot, the official gum of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a pretty good reference right there.
That's a
Sunil.
very good reference.
I like it. Approved. Okay, Ash. Let's move on with the show, shall
All
we?
right, let's talk about something I learned.
Yeah, what's one thing that you've learned?
One thing I learned over the weekend. So my sister was visiting us in Flagstaff with her family, and she brought a bottle of wine called Juggernaut. And, you know, I was looking at it and I thought to myself, that's an interesting word. It's fun to say. I have no idea what it means. And so I looked it up, and it means a massive force, campaign, movement, or object that crushes whatever is in its path. I'm like, Juggernaut. I think I could work that into my vocabulary.
Yeah, that word right there is
OSG certified.
Yes. And so is the wine. I did taste it. It was quite bold. It was a big, bold cab. So I guess it makes sense that it was called Juggernaut.
totally makes sense.
So raise your hand if you use the word Juggernaut in your daily life. I do now.
I mean, I already used it.
I've never heard you say it.
That gum was a juggernaut.
Yes, well played. All right, Patrick, what's one thing that you learned?
So, big fan of Ryan Reynolds. He has a new movie that just came out. It's Deadpool versus Wolverine or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but we really like him because of the Welcome to Wrexham. And one of the things that I've kind of been seeing is he acts in all of these different commercials. And what I learned, I kind of knew this, but I didn't really totally know it, is that Ryan Reynolds has bought or sold $14 billion worth of businesses, including Wrexham Football Club, 1Password. He's an investor in that.
Oh, I use that.
Yeah. He's an investor in Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, which pretty much everybody knows because of Wrexham, and then the Alpine F1 racing team. So kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
And one of the
Makes
things,
a lot of sense.
So in the show notes, I linked to the tweet thread about Ryan Reynolds. And one of the things that I like, he said he doesn't consider himself an entrepreneur. It's just that he finds different brands that he absolutely falls in love with and wants to be a part of it. And he then uses his very talented creativity and his talented production team, the Maximum Effort Productions, to create these fantastic ads. So it was a fun thing that I learned.
I love that. And, they do say you should invest in things that you like.
That's right.
And he happens to have quite a bit of play money to invest in things he likes. And it seems like it's worked out well for him. So
it
good
does.
for you, Ryan Reynolds.
Absolutely.
Keep making great content because I love it.
Yep. Should we check in on the comments
Yes,
there, Ashley? I noticed you were...
OSG is in the house, and
Oh, hey,
he actually
OSG.
has, I think, a quite helpful tip on the gum chewing thing. Have you tried the birch tree sap? I think it has a little sugary taste.
I haven't gotten around to the birch tree yet. I'm still chewing that same first piece of Chaos Mastic gum. But when I get to birch, I'll let you know.
And if you happen to know where we can find this birch tree, do they have it on Amazon? I don't know.
You know they do.
Let us know. Amazon has everything.
Yep. Ash, what's one thing that you love?
One thing I love is that I made my first sourdough bread loaf over the weekend.
That's right.
Yes, it was very good, if I do say so myself. And I was coached by my sister Natalie, who has just started to make her own sourdough bread. But it felt a little overwhelming at first. There are lots of steps, and it's like this starter, the sourdough starter, is like caring for like a pet. You have to like feed it every day. Otherwise, it dies. And, it feels like there's just extra love put into the process. And maybe that's why it tastes so good. I don't know, but it does. And it has so many health benefits. I just want to go through a list of the health benefits that sourdough bread has over, your typical white bread or regular bread that you can find. So it has a natural fermentation process that breaks down the gluten, making it more digestible and less likely to spike your blood sugar.
Perfect.
Plus, it's rich in prebiotics and probiotics that support a healthy gut. So, next time you reach for a slice, make it a high quality, hopefully homemade sourdough loaf.
And I can attest, it was not you that just loved it. It was me as well. I thought it was fantastic.
Good. Well, you're going to be eating a lot of it because I still have to keep practicing. There's going to be a lot of sourdough loaves coming out of this kitchen, hopefully.
Very light, very airy, very flavorful. And you made a great sandwich for us yesterday as well. So
I did. It was very good. It was like ham and cheese, like a Munster cheese. It melted really well on there. And then I added pickles and a spicy brown mustard. So it was almost in the family of like a Cubano, but I didn't have anything except for just ham, which worked out great. It was really good.
I loved it.
And I toasted it. So it was like a hot ham and cheese kind of thing. Just saying, really good. Patrick, what is one thing you love?
Well, Denzel Washington did a commencement speech. I think it was from maybe 2014 or something like that. There's a link in the show notes, of course. And one of the things he said is a 1-minute clip from that speech is very motivating, I found. Imagine you're on your deathbed and surrounding you are the ghosts of the ideas that you never acted on.
Ooh.
And those ghosts are disappointed because you never put them in motion.
That's amazing.
I know that's kind of
gives me chill bumps.
Kind of a crazy metaphor to think about it, and to get me off of my tuchus sometimes in terms of, folks. Ashley is the one that really is like, if there's something to do, like she doesn't have a to-do list, she has a done list.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's you. I'm more of the someday maybe. It's difficult for me to get started. Once I get started,
Look out.
look out. But it's a little difficult for me to get started. I think my head gets in my way of my body sometimes. And this was, I think, just another way of thinking about motivation and
saying yes to things that you want to do.
Yeah, well, and also saying no to things that are just going to get in the way of the other things that we've already committed to and that we're working on. So I like that. It put it in a very poignant way. So good job, Denzel.
Yeah, actually, on that note, I wanted to bring up one of our randoms. I know the next section is not randoms, but
It's whatever you want.
it's like we were talking this morning in the car drive from Flagstaff to Fountain Hills. On a scale of 1 to torment, where does this project fall for you?
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to have started to think about things, because I love a challenge. I love working hard on things and trying to unlock them and figure it out. But also there comes a time when something becomes torment, and it's a fine line. And when it crosses that line into the torment category, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I think a challenge that I posed to Patrick for us to work on or hold each other accountable on is, if it's turned into torment, we need to find an exit, because life is too short to do things that torment you.
Amen.
Gosh, I am crushing it today.
Yeah, that's like 8 or 9 bell dings for you.
Wow, that's a record for sure.
I know, and you really didn't even prepare that much.
No, it's just in my soul, man.
Well, one of the things that we have been digging, we both agreed to do this together, is we have been watching our buddy Tyson Apostle, season 18 veteran of the show Survivor. Tyson and I do a weekly pickleball show on Monday mornings called the Pickleball Minutes. And he and I were, I was like, Tyson, like, you're super popular for Survivor, right? He goes, yeah, I'm probably like number 3 or number 4. I'm like, so out of 89 seasons, he's like 48 seasons. So I can't remember exactly what the number was. I'm like, you're like in the top 3. He goes, well, I don't know, like top 5, easily top 10, but probably top 5 in terms of popularity. And I was like, I have to admit something. I've never actually really watched Survivor. I'm aware of it and its popularity and its basically genre defining amazing thing that it did. So he goes, well, if you do want to watch, go back to season 18. He goes, that was the first season I was on. He's been on 2 seasons, and start watching it. So this is a Tyson from almost 20 years ago, beanpole pro bike racer, and
Still very funny.
still very funny in the show, and just this like hilarious character. And it's funny to know him in his, I would guess he's early 40s, and this was his young 20s, I think, or mid 20s. And you know, they had to blur out a few times when Tyson was down at the river and just kind of putting on a show for his tribe.
Yeah, he was
to
the
try
comic
and help
relief.
cure the boredom, and it's just so funny to now be doing this other Pickleball Minutes show with him and to talk to him about it. So something we've been digging. Season 18 of Survivor.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah. Check it out.
Any other randoms you want to cover, Ash? You got on a scale of 1 to tormented. I'm glad you covered that one.
I covered my random, yeah.
Well,
that's it.
I've got one. Breaking Pickleball is now listed on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yes, that's right. So Rotten Tomatoes, and in fact, I think just today they made it available to be able to write reviews. You have to go to like season 1 and then you can write a review. So folks, help us out. Get us to 100% fresh. There's a link in the show notes, but if you just go to RottenTomatoes.com, you'll be able to find Breaking Pickleball. Of course, if you haven't reviewed it on IMDb, I would guess IMDb rating is probably maybe more important because it's looking like pretty good with Amazon right now. We're waiting to hear back on some details, but there is definitely some interest, and there's a very good chance that Breaking Pickleball, the documentary season 1, could be on Amazon Prime Video very soon.
I was looking for the crowd thing.
Hold on. It's no record scratch. That's
There you go.
I love it. So please do write us a review. Okay, guys, settle down. That's okay. Please do write us a review or otherwise
I will come get you.
And yeah, we'll just.
Oh, and
keep you
Sunil, we
tuned.
will go check out your review. Thank you for writing that. We appreciate it.
Ooh, all right. You wrote a review. I know that you posted it maybe last week. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we got to go
Sunil.
look it up. Well, everyone, have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us. We're off to our coffee break, and that is sacred time.
That's right, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye, monkey.
Bye.
Does he want to say anything?
Oh, he's shy. He can't.
You can talk for him.
I love to sit on Mom's lap. It's my favorite place, and I never want to leave.
Remember to write that review, or I will come get you.
Too much. Thanks again for the review, Sunil.